not like the trespass. For if the many died by the trespass of the one man, how much more did God's grace and the gift that came by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to many? I just ask if you got it on the screen. I think it is. Can y'all read that verse aloud? 1, 2, 3, go. In the time that's mine, I want to say grace hyphen defined. Like I did faith defined, I want to do grace defined. I'm certain that many of you are already saying that you completely understand all that you need to know about grace. It is clearly the reason you're able to wake up every morning and get started on your way. It's the reason you now walk in a new, renewed relationship with God. It is the foundation upon which our salvation stands, as recorded in Ephesians chapter 2, verse number 8. For it is by grace that you have been saved through faith, and this not from yourselves, it is the gift of God. So, Pastor, why are you taking this sermonic time of sacred study to teach and preach on grace? Well, from the get-go, I believe all of us need more than merely the knowledge and the doctrinal disciplines of grace. I am convinced that we have a head awareness that is rich and a confidence in it that is deep. But I am certain the manner in which we should be living it out, demonstrating it to our spouse, families, homes, children, neighbors, co-workers, is far below the standard we long to have, receive, and experience for ourselves. Pastor, how can I make this statement? How can I make this statement? Well, when those outside the church view us within the church, they see people of judgment, criticism, complaints, and comparison. Let me tell y'all, according to the street committee, everybody in church wants grace, but none of them know how to extend, give, or even offer grace to others. We who should be banner wavers and standard bearers for grace are the very ones turning the audience of onlookers off by our inability to exemplify and or extend grace to somebody else. This is why I'm so impressed with the manner in which Philip Yancey approaches this subject in his book, What's So Amazing About Grace. And by it, as we read through it this summer, you need to get it if you hadn't read it yet. He does not attempt to provide us doctrinal principles nor a denominational position paper or thesis on grace. Rather, he provides for us life stories that best exemplify grace in action. So it is from the book, What's Amazing About Grace, that I offer the following story, which confirms my idea of how people outside the church view those of us within it. Yancey writes, I told a story in my book, The Jesus I Never Knew, a true story, that lifelong afterwards continued to haunt me. I heard it from a friend who works with a down and out in Chicago. Prostitute came to me in wretched straits, homeless, sick, unable to buy food for her 2-year-old daughter. Through sobs and tears, she told me she had been renting out her daughter, 2 years old, to men interested in kinky sex. She made more renting out her daughter for an hour than she could earn on her own in a night. She had to do it, she said, to support her own drug habit. I could hardly bear hearing her sorry story. For one thing, it made me legally liable. I'm required to report cases of child abuse. I had no idea what to say to this woman. At last, I asked if she had even thought of going to a church for help. I will never forget the look of pure, naive shock that crossed her face. Church? She cried. Why would I ever go there? I was already feeling terrible about myself. They just make me feel worse. Philip Yancey went on to say what struck him about his friend's story is that women, much like this prostitute, fled toward Jesus, not away from him. The worse a person felt about themselves, the more likely they would seek Jesus as a refuge. And I got to ask the question, has the church lost that gift? Evidently, the down and out who flocked to Jesus, who lived on earth, no longer feel welcome among Jesus's followers. Tell me, y'all, what has happened to us? This is the perplexing, salient question. What has happened to us? It is my desire for us as a community of faith to wrestle with that question over the next few weeks. What has happened to the image and ideal that Jesus most exemplified for? You might wonder what it is. Well, let me help you. In Revelation 22:17, we are told this, and the Spirit and the bride say, come. And let him that heareth say, come. And let them that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. The church is the bride of Christ, and we should resemble our husband, our Christ, who suffered, bled, and died to redeem us, washed and made us holy. We should have an open arm, welcoming spirit filled with love, hope, and faith. We have to remember our own plight in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. That's right. We were once sinners, unsaved by grace. Now that we become sinners saved by grace, we got to maintain the attitude of Christ that was given to us and extend our arms and continue to declare, whosoever will, let them come. This is why I believe we need a working, hear me say, a working definition for grace. We need a way to measure our responses to others who show that they are in need of someone with godly favor to show them the same kind of loving support received when they first gave their lives to the Lord Jesus Christ. So I asked my superintendent of Sunday school if you just receive and adopt the following as St. Mark's working definition for grace submitted by your pastor. Grace is the time and tolerance we have been given and now give to others as they transition into the image of Christ. Let me say it again because I think it's a good working definition. Grace is the time and tolerance we have been given and now give to others as they transition into the image of Christ. Please note our working definition is aligned with our chosen text. It agrees that grace is a gift. Don't miss it. It's a gift. We can never pretend or behave like grace has been earned or entitled. No, grace is a gift that is given, and the weight of the entire definition rests in us seeing, grasping, and adopting this reality. Grace is a gift that's given. God has given the now sinner saved by grace what they could never earn, nor were they entitled to have it. Now, sinner saved by grace, give it to the sinner that's in need of salvation. Let me say it again. The given has to give. Give what you